Grief is one of life's most profound and unavoidable experiences. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a dream, or a way of life, grief can shake us to our core and leave us feeling lost, overwhelmed, and alone. But what if I told you that there is a powerful philosophy, one that has endured for centuries, that can help you navigate these turbulent waters? A philosophy that teaches us not only how to cope with loss, but how to grow stronger from it. That philosophy is Stoicism. My friends, in this journey we call life, grief and loss are inevitable companions. But we need not be consumed by them. The ancient Stoic philosophers, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, understood this well. They developed a timeless wisdom that can serve as a lifeline when the tides of grief threaten to pull us under. In the next hour, I will guide you through the Stoic strategies for dealing with loss and emerging from its depths stronger and more resilient than before. We will explore accepting what we cannot control, focusing our energy on what is within our power to change, and maintaining a perspective that allows us to see loss as a natural part of life's ebb and flow. You will learn how to draw strength from Stoic philosophy itself, through practices like negative visualization that prepare us for life's inevitabilities. And you will hear inspirational stories of how modern individuals have applied these teachings to overcome unimaginable grief and loss. So stay with me, keep an open mind, and let the wisdom of the Stoics be your compass through the darkest storms. For as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. By the end of this video, you will have a powerful toolbox of Stoic principles to help you not only cope with grief and loss, but to grow from them and live a more fulfilling and resilient life. The Stoic perspective on grief and loss. Grief and loss are inevitable parts of the human experience, woven into the tapestry of life itself. From the moment we take our first breath, we are confronted with the reality that all things must eventually end. The bonds we forge, the dreams we chase, the material possessions we accumulate, all are transient, subject to the relentless march of time and change. Yet, in these moments of loss, we often find ourselves most vulnerable and fragile. The pain of grief can be all-consuming, threatening to overwhelm us with a tidal wave of sorrow and despair. In these darkest hours, the wisdom of the ancient Stoic philosophers shines brightest, offering a beacon of hope and resilience. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a fundamental truth. While we cannot control the external events that shape our lives, we can control our responses to them. This principle is encapsulated in the words of Epictetus, the former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic teachers. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The Stoics did not view grief and loss as emotions to be suppressed or denied. Instead, they recognized these experiences as natural and unavoidable aspects of the human condition. What set the Stoics apart was their unwavering belief that, while we cannot prevent loss, we can choose how we respond to it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, embodied this ideal in his life. When his beloved wife, Annia Galeria Faustina, passed away, he did not succumb to the depths of despair or neglect his duties as a leader. Instead, inspired by the teachings of Stoicism, he carried on with fortitude and acceptance, acknowledging the loss while maintaining his composure and fulfilling his responsibilities. This ability to accept what lies beyond our control is a central tenet of Stoic thought. As Epictetus wrote, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." The Stoics recognized that certain aspects of life, such as death and loss, are ultimately beyond our ability to influence. Rather than railing against these inevitabilities, they taught that true wisdom lies in acknowledging them with grace and composure. This is not to say that the Stoics advocated for a life devoid of emotion or attachment. On the contrary, they understood the value of forming meaningful connections and pursuing worthwhile goals. However, they also recognized that our happiness and fulfillment should not be contingent upon the permanence of these external factors. Instead, the Stoics encouraged us to cultivate inner resilience, a strength of character that would allow us to weather the storms of life with steadfast composure. By accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what lies within our sphere of influence, we can navigate even the most turbulent waters with a sense of inner peace and purpose. This mindset is beautifully encapsulated in another quote from Marcus Aurelius. "Our life is what our thoughts make it." In essence, while the external world is in constant flux, our inner world, our thoughts, attitudes, and responses, is the true determinant of our experience. By embracing this Stoic philosophy, we can reframe our perspective on grief and loss. Rather than viewing them as insurmountable obstacles, we can see them as natural phases of the human experience, opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Just as the changing seasons are an inevitable part of the natural cycle, so are the ebbs and flows of joy and sorrow woven into our existence. Through this lens of acceptance and inner resilience, we can find the strength to navigate the turbulent waters of grief. By acknowledging the inevitability of loss while maintaining a steadfast focus on what lies within our control, we can emerge from even the darkest storms, not merely intact, but fortified. Our spirits tempered by the fires of adversity, our resolve strengthened by the wisdom of the ancient Stoics. Focus on what is within your control. While the Stoic perspective teaches us to accept what we cannot control, it also provides a powerful framework for focusing our energy and efforts on what is within our sphere of influence, for it is in these areas where our choices and actions hold sway that we can find solace and purpose in the face of grief and loss. As Marcus Aurelius so eloquently stated, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This profound insight reminds us that our suffering is often rooted not in external circumstances, but in our reactions and judgments about them. When confronted with the loss of a loved one, a cherished dream, or a way of life, it is natural for our emotions to run high. Sadness, anger, and a sense of injustice can overwhelm us, clouding our vision and consuming our thoughts. Yet, in these moments, the Stoic teachings offer a path forward, a way to reclaim our inner peace and composure. We can channel our energy into constructive outlets by shifting our focus to what lies within our control. While we may be unable to prevent or undo the loss, we can choose how we respond. Do we allow ourselves to be consumed by despair, lashing out at those around us and neglecting our responsibilities? Or do we consciously direct our thoughts and actions towards personal growth, self-care, and pursuing meaningful endeavors? The choice ultimately is ours, a reality that the Stoics understood well. For them, true freedom and fulfillment lay not in external circumstances, but in the power we wield over our minds and choices. Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero, embodied this principle in his life. When faced with the losses of his son and father-in-law, he did not succumb to the depths of grief. Instead, he maintained a sense of emotional balance, writing, "Grief is a natural response to loss, but it should not be allowed to consume us." Seneca's words remind us that grief is a natural and valid emotion, but it need not define or limit us. By maintaining a sense of emotional equilibrium, we can navigate the turbulent waters of loss with clarity and purpose, directing our actions towards constructive outlets that serve our well-being and the greater good. In the modern world, we can find countless examples of individuals who have embodied this Stoic principle, channeling their grief into positive change and personal growth. Consider the story of a young woman who, upon losing her mother to cancer, chose to honor her memory by volunteering at a local hospice, offering comfort and support to others facing similar struggles. Rather than allowing her grief to consume her, this woman focused her energy on what was within her control, her ability to provide compassion and service to those in need. In doing so, she not only found solace and purpose in the face of her loss, but also made a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Such stories remind us that even in our darkest moments, we possess the innate capacity to transform our pain into something positive and transformative. By consciously focusing on what is within our control, we can reclaim our sense of agency and empowerment, creating a narrative of growth and resilience in the face of adversity. Of course, this is not to say that the journey is easy. Maintaining emotional balance and directing our energy towards constructive outlets requires discipline, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. Yet the rewards of such efforts are immeasurable, for in doing so, we honor the memory of those we have lost and cultivate the strength and wisdom to navigate future challenges with grace and composure. The Stoics understood this well, a lesson that remains as relevant today as it was centuries ago. For in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, focusing on what lies within our control offers a sense of grounding and purpose, a lighthouse guiding us through the storms of life. So let us embrace this Stoic wisdom and cultivate the courage to direct our thoughts and actions towards that which we can influence. By doing so, we honor the inevitable losses that life brings and pave the way for personal growth, emotional resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the fleeting beauty of the present moment. Maintain perspective. In the depths of grief and loss, it can be all too easy to become consumed by the weight of our sorrow, to lose sight of the broader tapestry of life and the impermanence that governs all things. Yet in these moments, the Stoic teachings offer a powerful antidote, a means of maintaining perspective and finding equilibrium amidst the turbulence. As Epictetus reminded us, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. These words encapsulate the Stoic understanding that change is inevitable and fundamental to existence. From the season's cycles to civilization's rise and fall, all things are subject to the relentless flow of impermanence. In this context, the Stoics encouraged us to view grief and loss not as aberrations to be resisted, but as natural phases woven into the very fabric of life. Just as the verdant splendor of spring gives way to the vibrant hues of autumn, so must we embrace the ebb and flow of joy and sorrow, gain and loss, as part of the cosmic dance. By maintaining this broader perspective, we can find solace in the knowledge that our experiences, no matter how profound or devastating, are part of a greater cycle that has unfolded since the dawn of time and will continue long after we are gone. In doing so, we can resist the temptation to become consumed by our grief and instead approach it with a sense of acceptance and equanimity. This is not to say that the Stoics advocated for a life devoid of emotion or attachment. On the contrary, they recognized the value and richness of forming deep bonds and pursuing meaningful endeavors. However, they also understood that true fulfillment and inner peace could only be achieved by maintaining a sense of perspective, recognizing that all things, no matter how cherished, are ultimately transient. The Roman statesman and philosopher Cicero embodied this Stoic principle in his own life, finding solace in the teachings of philosophy after the devastating loss of his beloved daughter, Tullia. In a letter to a friend, he wrote, "I have had recourse to our old plan of consolation drawn from philosophical studies." Cicero's words remind us that in our darkest moments, we can find strength and comfort in the timeless wisdom of those grappling with these universal experiences. By drawing upon the Stoic teachings and maintaining a sense of perspective, we can navigate even the most profound losses with grace and resilience. But how can we cultivate this sense of perspective in the face of grief and loss? The Stoics offered several practical steps and techniques that remain as relevant today as they were centuries ago. One such practice is cultivating mindfulness, the art of being fully present in the current moment without becoming consumed by the past or future. By training our minds to stay grounded in the here and now, we can resist the temptation to become overwhelmed by the weight of our grief or the fear of future losses. Consider, for example, the simple act of taking a deep breath and allowing ourselves to fully experience the sensation of air filling our lungs. In that moment, we are neither dwelling on the past nor anxious about what will come. We are present, alive, and aware. From this place of presence, we can regain our sense of perspective, recognizing that even amid our suffering, there is beauty and meaning to be found in the fleeting present. Another powerful technique is the practice of gratitude, of consciously acknowledging and appreciating the blessings and joys that still exist in our lives, no matter how small or fleeting they may seem. By cultivating gratitude, we can counterbalance the weight of our grief and remind ourselves of the inherent goodness and beauty that still surrounds us, even in our darkest hours. In the modern world, we can find countless examples of individuals who have embodied this Stoic principle of maintaining perspective in the face of loss. Consider the story of a young man who, after losing his father to cancer, found solace in the simple act of hiking in nature. With each step along the trail, he was reminded of the cyclical nature of life, the way the seasons ebb and flow, the way life emerges from decay and death. In those moments, surrounded by the majesty of the natural world, he gained a sense of perspective, recognizing that his profound grief was part of a larger tapestry of existence that had unfolded since the dawn of time. Through this perspective lens, he could honor his father's memory and find solace in the present moment, even as he navigated the depths of his sorrow. This same perspective, rooted in the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, can guide us all through life's inevitable losses and transitions. Just as the changing seasons remind us of the impermanence of all things, the Stoic teachings offer us a way to maintain equilibrium and find meaning amid grief and loss. By embracing the cyclical nature of existence, cultivating mindfulness and gratitude, and drawing upon the wisdom of those who have walked this path, we can navigate even the darkest storms with grace and resilience. In doing so, we honor the memory of those we have lost and pave the way for a life lived with greater depth, purpose, and appreciation for the fleeting beauty of the present moment. Draw strength from philosophy. In the face of grief and loss, it can be all too tempting to seek solace in temporary distractions or fleeting pleasures. Yet the Stoic philosophers understood that true solace and resilience can only be found by drawing strength from the wellspring of wisdom, by immersing ourselves in the timeless teachings that have guided countless individuals through the most profound of life's challenges. At the heart of this philosophy lies a practice known as negative visualization, a concept that may seem paradoxical at first glance, but one that offers a powerful tool for navigating the turbulent waters of grief and loss. The idea behind negative visualization is to consciously meditate on the potential for loss and adversity, to envision and accept the inevitability of change and impermanence. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca warned, "He who indulges empty fears earns himself real fears." By confronting our fears and anxieties head-on and acknowledging the transient nature of all things we hold dear, we can cultivate a sense of preparedness and resilience, a strength of character that allows us to weather even the most devastating storms. This practice may seem counterintuitive, even morbid, to those unfamiliar with Stoic thought. Why, one might ask, would we intentionally dwell on the prospect of loss and suffering? Yet this willingness to confront our deepest fears and insecurities is at the heart of the Stoic approach. The Stoics understood that denying or avoiding the reality of loss only heightens our vulnerability when it inevitably occurs. By contrast, those who have cultivated the practice of negative visualization are better equipped to face adversity with equanimity, having already confronted and accepted the impermanence of all things. Seneca himself embodied this principle, enduring the losses of exile and confiscating his wealth with a remarkable sense of Stoic detachment. His writings remind us that circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. A powerful reminder that it is not the external events that define us, but rather our inner responses and resilience in the face of adversity. In the modern world, we can find countless examples of individuals who have drawn strength from this Stoic practice, using negative visualization to cultivate emotional resilience and prepare for life's inevitable challenges. Consider the story of a young woman who, after losing her mother to a sudden illness, found solace in the practice of negative visualization. Each morning, she would spend a few moments envisioning the loss of her loved ones, acknowledging the impermanence of life and the inevitability of change. While this practice may have seemed morbid to some, for this young woman, it served as a powerful reminder to cherish each moment, appreciate life's fleeting beauty, and cultivate the inner strength necessary to navigate even the most profound losses. And when tragedy did strike, when she found herself confronted with the reality of her mother's passing, she was better prepared, not in the sense of being immune to grief, but in possessing the emotional grit and resilience to weather the storm with grace and composure. Of course, the practice of negative visualization is not a panacea, nor is it a means of escaping the deep pain and sorrow that accompany profound loss. The Stoics did not advocate for a life devoid of emotion or attachment, but a balanced approach acknowledging the full spectrum of human experience while cultivating the wisdom and resilience to navigate even the most turbulent waters. In this sense, negative visualization is not an end unto itself, but rather a tool, a means of preparing ourselves for the inevitable challenges that life will bring and cultivating the strength of character necessary to face them with courage and grace. However, the Stoic teachings offer more than just this single practice. They provide a comprehensive framework for living a life of purpose, meaning, and inner peace. This philosophy has guided countless individuals through the most profound of life's challenges. From Marcus Aurelius's writings to Epictetus's teachings, the Stoic canon offers a wealth of wisdom and practical strategies for cultivating resilience, maintaining perspective, and finding solace in even the darkest moments. So let us draw upon this wellspring of knowledge, immersing ourselves in the timeless teachings that have sustained generations before us. For it is in these ancient words that we can find the strength and guidance to navigate the turbulent waters of grief and loss, emerging not merely intact, but fortified. our spirits tempered by the fires of adversity, our resolve strengthened by the wisdom of those who have walked this path before us. In doing so, we honor the memory of those we have lost and pave the way for a life lived with greater depth, purpose, and appreciation for the fleeting beauty of the present moment. A life guided by the eternal wisdom of the Stoic philosophers. Real-life applications and inspirational stories. While the Stoic philosophies we have explored thus far may seem lofty and abstract, it is in their practical application that their true power and relevance become apparent. The wisdom of the ancient Stoics is not merely a collection of esoteric ideas, but a living, breathing framework for navigating the most profound challenges of the human experience, including the inescapable reality of grief and loss. Throughout history, we can find countless examples of individuals who have drawn upon these teachings to find solace, resilience, and even personal growth in the face of unimaginable adversity. Their stories serve as a testament to the enduring relevance of Stoic thought and as a source of inspiration for those of us who find ourselves grappling with the complexities of grief and loss. Let us begin with the story of Zingonia, a Roman matron who lived during the tumultuous times of the Republic. When her husband and sons were unjustly executed by the dictator Sulla, Zingonia found herself consumed by grief and despair. Yet it was in the writings of the Stoics that she found solace and direction, embracing their teachings on the impermanence of life and the importance of maintaining perspective. As the historian Plutarch recounts, Zingonia bore her afflictions with a truly philosophical spirit, exhibiting no lack of fortitude, but on the contrary, a noble and majestic demeanor worthy of royal birth. Her story is a powerful reminder that the Stoic philosophies can offer a path towards resilience and inner strength, even in the darkest moments. Centuries later, we find another example in the life of Boethius, a Roman statesman and philosopher who faced imprisonment and eventual execution on trumped-up charges of treason. During his incarceration, Boethius penned his masterwork, The Consolation of Philosophy, a treatise that drew heavily upon Stoic principles and offered solace to countless individuals facing their struggles and losses. In his writings, Boethius reminds us that true happiness and fulfillment cannot be found in external possessions or circumstances, but in cultivating inner virtue and wisdom. The highest good, he wrote, is that which, when it is present, leaves no room for the desire of anything else. These ancient examples serve as a powerful testament to the enduring relevance of Stoic thought, and as a reminder that even in the face of the most profound losses, it's possible to find solace, strength, and even personal growth through these timeless teachings. However, we need not look solely at the annals of history to find inspiration. In the modern world, we can find countless individuals who have embodied the Stoic principles we have explored, using them as a compass to navigate the turbulent waters of grief and loss. Consider the story of Jane, a young woman who found herself confronted with the devastating loss of her husband in a tragic accident. In the depths of her grief, she turned to the writings of the Stoics, finding solace in their teachings on acceptance, perspective, and the importance of focusing on what lies within our control. Through mindfulness and gratitude, Jane gradually regained a sense of equilibrium, acknowledging the depth of her loss and recognizing the blessings and beauty still in her life. As she delved deeper into the Stoic philosophies, she found the strength to channel her grief into positive action, becoming an advocate for mental health awareness and support for others navigating their journeys of loss and healing. The Stoics taught me that while I cannot control the circumstances of my husband's passing, I can control how I respond to it, Jane shared. By focusing on what lies within my sphere of influence, I have been able to find purpose and meaning in the midst of my grief, and to use my experiences to make a positive impact on the world around me. Such stories are a powerful reminder that the Stoic teachings are not merely relics of a bygone era, but a living, breathing philosophy that can offer solace, strength, and direction in even the most trying circumstances. And as we navigate our journeys of grief and loss, we too can draw inspiration and guidance from these timeless principles. So, let us embrace the wisdom of the ancients and seek to embody their teachings in our daily lives. Let us cultivate mindfulness, gratitude, and harmful visualization practices, using them to build emotional resilience and maintain perspective in the face of adversity. And let us find solace and strength in the stories of those who have walked this path before us. The Zingonias, the Boethiuses, and the Jains of the world, who have used the Stoic philosophies as a compass to navigate the turbulent waters of grief and emerge not merely intact, but fortified, their spirits tempered by the fires of adversity, and their resolve strengthened by the wisdom of the ages. For in doing so, we not only honor the memory of those we have lost, but we also pave the way for a life lived with greater depth, purpose, and appreciation for the fleeting beauty of the present moment, a life guided by the eternal wisdom of the Stoic philosophers. Integrating Stoic strategies for holistic growth. One foundational truth has become abundantly clear as we have explored the various Stoic strategies for navigating grief and loss. These teachings are not isolated, but form an interconnected tapestry of wisdom and insight. To truly harness the power of Stoicism in the face of life's most significant challenges, we must integrate and embody these principles holistically and cohesively. The Stoics understood that true resilience and fulfillment could only be achieved through a comprehensive approach that recognized the interdependence of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and sought to cultivate balance and harmony across all aspects of our being. Virtue is at the heart of this holistic philosophy. True happiness and well-being can only be found through cultivating virtuous character traits such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Through the embodiment of these virtues, the Stoics believed, we could find the strength and fortitude to navigate even the most turbulent of life's storms. And so, as we seek to apply the Stoic teachings to our journeys of grief and loss, we must strive to integrate and harmonize the various strategies we've explored. Acceptance, perspective, focus on what we can control, and the drawing of strength from philosophy itself. The true power of these principles is revealed through their synergy. This power allows us not only to deal with loss, but also to grow and evolve in the face of hardship. We emerge from grief with a renewed sense of purpose, resilience, and appreciation for the fleeting beauty of the present moment. Consider, for example, the practice of acceptance, the willingness to embrace what lies beyond our control rather than railing against the inevitable. While this principle may seem straightforward in theory, it requires a deep well of inner strength and fortitude in practice. This kind can only be cultivated by consistently applying Stoic teachings across all our lives. Acknowledging the reality of impermanence and change on an intellectual level is not enough. We must also cultivate emotional and psychological resilience to embody this acceptance and approach life's losses and transitions with serenity and grace. This is where the other Stoic strategies we've explored come into play. By maintaining perspective, by recognizing the cyclical nature of existence and the inevitability of change, we can find solace and grounding in the knowledge that our experiences, no matter how profound, are part of a more remarkable tapestry that has unfolded since the dawn of time. By focusing our energy and efforts on what lies within our control, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, we can reclaim a sense of agency and empowerment, directing our energies towards constructive outlets that serve our well-being and the greater good. Finally, by drawing strength from the wellspring of Stoic philosophy itself, immersing ourselves in the timeless teachings and practices that have sustained generations before us, we can fortify our spirits and cultivate the inner fortitude necessary to navigate even the most profound losses with courage and grace. It's through the harmonious integration of these principles that we can truly embody the essence of Stoic wisdom, transforming it from a mere intellectual exercise into a lived and embodied experience. A way of being that permeates every aspect of our lives and provides a sturdy foundation upon which to build a life of meaning, purpose, and resilience. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. In other words, it is not the external events and challenges we face that define us, but rather our responses to them, our ability to maintain perspective, to focus on what lies within our control, and to draw upon the timeless wisdom of those who have walked this path before us. And so, as we navigate the inevitable losses and transitions that life will bring, let us strive to embody these Stoic principles in their entirety, integrating them into the very fabric of our being, and allowing them to guide us through even the darkest of storms. It is in this holistic embrace of Stoic wisdom that we can find the strength and resilience to not only cope with grief and loss, but to grow and evolve in the face of adversity, emerging from the depths of sorrow with a renewed sense of purpose, gratitude, and appreciation for the fleeting beauty of the present moment. In doing so, we honor the memory of those we have lost and pave the way for a life lived with greater depth, authenticity, and alignment with the eternal truths that have sustained generations of seekers and sages throughout the ages. So let us embark upon this journey of integration and embodiment, allowing the timeless wisdom of the Stoics to permeate every aspect of our being, our thoughts, emotions, and actions. For it is only through this holistic embrace that we can truly harness the transformative power of this ancient philosophy and emerge from the crucible of grief and loss, not merely intact, but forever changed. Our spirits fortified by the fires of adversity, our resolve strengthened by the wisdom of the ages, and our lives imbued with a newfound sense of purpose, resilience, and gratitude for the fleeting beauty of the present moment. As we end our exploration, I'd like to share some Stoic quotes about grief and loss that be helpful. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. This quote reminds us that while change and loss are inevitable, we can shape our experience through our thoughts and attitudes. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. The Stoics taught that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond to them, including our reactions to grief and loss. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Our suffering often arises from our judgments and perceptions rather than external circumstances. We have the power to change our perspectives and find inner peace. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Epictetus. While we cannot prevent loss, we can focus our efforts on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. The universe is transformation. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. Echoing the earlier quote, this reminds us to embrace change's cyclical nature and cultivate resilient thoughts and attitudes. Grief is a natural response to loss, but it should not be allowed to consume us. Seneca. The Stoics acknowledged grief as a valid emotion, but encouraged us to maintain perspective and not let it overwhelm us completely. He who indulges empty fears earns himself real fears. Seneca. Negative visualization can help us prepare for and accept the inevitability of loss, rather than indulging in unproductive fears. Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself. Epictetus. Our true character is revealed not by external events, but by how we respond to them, including our reactions to grief and adversity. The universe is flux, life is opinion. Marcus Aurelius. While the external world is ever-changing, our inner world, our thoughts and perspectives, ultimately shape our experience of life and loss. These quotes and the explored wisdom and strategies offer a robust framework for navigating grief and loss with resilience, perspective, and a deep appreciation for the present moment.